Zambola and welcome to episode 2 of the Desung Skilling Program podcast. I'm joined today by Zembewom Sonamtile, who is currently serving as the Executive Director at the Desung Skilling Program. I'm also joined by the Honorable Kezang Chukidoji, member of the Steering Committee of the Desung Skilling Program, and Colonel Sisir Chetri, who is Officer on Special Duty, currently heading the Desung HQ. In addition to leading the Desung HQ, Colonel Sisir is also part of the steering committee of the Desung Skilling Program. I look forward to a very insightful conversation with the three of them, and I hope you feel the same too. This is episode 2. It's great to have you all here in the studio today with us. Zembewom Sonamtile, the Honorable Kezang Chukidoji, and Colonel Sisir Chetrila. I know for a fact that the three of you enjoy a great camaraderie on top of all the very important work that you've been doing with the DSP in the past few years. So to start with, Zembewom, could you share a bit about how the DSP has evolved as an institution since you all started?
Thank you very much, Namge. I think initially, as I think our chairman must have already shared in this first episode, to continue, in the beginning we had steering committee members who had also extra role on taking on different domains. For instance, as a steering committee member, I had the honor of taking on multiple domains for skilling program. Likewise, my colleague Honorable Tasho Chuki also had different domains. And likewise, other steering committee members had different domains. And as we went ahead, we thought it was imperative that we institutionalize because of the success and also the number of programs what we were doing in order to be more productive, in order to reach targets. Now what we have reached is we still have the steering committee members at the fore to guide us on policy matters and give guidance post-skilling, which looks after business ventures. And accordingly, on the third tier, we have FT, which is being headed by chairman himself, which includes finance as well as the media division. So based on the needs and based on how the steering committee has advised and guided to be more productive, to be more proactive, and also to attend to the needs of the emerging needs.
So till date, an impressive 157 programs have been delivered with 8,800 DSUPs trained. So to the Honorable Kezang Chuki and Colonel Sisir, what has been the impact that you've observed on the DSUPs who have undergone these trainings? What are some of the transformations that you have seen in the lives of the people who have pursued these trainings?
Most of the DSUPs who complete this training, they become more confident, they learn art of business, they also gain certain aspects in the skills that they are pursuing, and we see that they have thirst for learning more and more. So these are the certain changes that we see in the young people who were just lying meaningless while the skilling program was not started.
And how do the DSUPs sign up for these programs? Do you have a system?
Yeah, we have the Desung app. So as soon as the skilling program makes the announcement, it is shared in our website and it also pops up in the app. So accordingly, as per their convenience, whether they have time, they apply for the courses, and accordingly, based on the services that they have rendered, we select the people. But there is also opportunity for some DSUPs who have not volunteered to serve can also sign up for this program. They also get opportunity to get this program as long as they are DSUPs.
On Bilkezang, you have previously led a few domains. I remember ceramics, arts and crafts, media. What has your experience been in terms of looking at how the DSUPs have been able to get new skills through these programs?
As my colleagues have already shared, actually, I've been very fortunate to work with the DSP. I've been part of the DSP family now for about 2 years, and during that time, I was given the responsibility to look after both the arts and crafts and the media programs, and in that. During that duration, we had conducted many trainings, and I think both for the arts and crafts, we tried to ensure that we introduced programs maybe that were not familiar at first, not part of our tradition and culture here in Bhutan, but also gave us the opportunity to really experiment with the expert trainers that had come from across the globe. And the same also goes for the media trainers. I think one of the strengths of the DSP programs is that we don't just introduce a program and just leave it there. So if we find that the youth are very receptive and we find that there is a lot of interest for it, we make sure that we skill them up. So then we go for an intermediate course and then an advanced course. So this allows our DSUPs who are undergoing these trainings to walk away a lot more confident, and also they develop a passion that they also did not know they had for the particular skill that they were learning. And I think that has been extremely rewarding to see also. Like my colleague mentioned also, is that when you see these young people walk in, many of them have never had the opportunity to undertake in a program like this. And I think that they feel so blessed and honored to receive a scholarship from His Majesty the King, to undergo a specialized training. And because of the very vigorous selection that we have in terms of picking the right trainers to come in and work with our youth, we are able to ensure that we make a conducive environment so that learning is fun, but also at the same time we ensure that they walk away with the necessary skills to be able to apply it in whichever field they decide to go into.
Basically, there is the basic course, the intermediate, advanced, and the professional courses. So as the basic course takes place, DSP finds that there are certain areas in which we need to improve, and DSUPs are interested in. So that level of flexibility is there within DSP to introduce certain program in the intermediate course. So that's why DSUPs, they really get interested in jumping from one course to another level of course.
And let's also talk about some of the partnerships that the DSP has been able to forge with the private sector, with various institutions, where the trained DSUPs are ultimately absorbed.
Yes, my colleague has already mentioned, we've been very fortunate since the inception of skilling programs. A lot of these private organizations, government organizations, state corporates have also been very cooperative. And all the DSUPs who have trained and gone through this rigorous training, like foundation, intermediate, advanced, once they've been certified, they've been able to easily adapt and get into the market. We have institutes like from fitness, we have institutes like financial institutes like BDBL, we have other hotels, 5-star hotels where our culinary kids have joined. We have other spas where beauticians, nail, hair, makeup artists have been very lucky. For instance, even BBS has been a partner with us. Channel 3 has been partner with us. Likewise, even private sectors in construction, then so many others.
We have Vajra company who has employed around 97 DSUPs as the employee, and half of them are trained through Desung skilling program in plumbing and welding. Yes.
So, Simpom, you have outlined very clearly how the DSP has adopted a more systematic approach in terms of organizing yourselves.
Yes.
But the essence of DSP as an organization is also the agility and being very responsive
Yes.
to the needs of the market, the needs of the country, and also the feedback that you may have received from the DSUPs, the trainers. So tell us a little bit more about what sort of changes that you hope to bring as the DSP evolves as an organization.
Yeah, that's I think our scope of work and also our mandates don't differ from how we started. As per the guidance and as His Majesty has always shared, DSP is for the SUPs, and it is initially established so that the SUPs are skilled, upskilled, and some of them reskilled. And the opportunity, as His Majesty clearly puts that, we want the SUPs to find their passion. So we allow them to try different skilling programs. So even till date, we still follow the same. Although the system has changed, but our mandates still remain the same. But except that we are trying to be more efficient, more productive, and it totally depends on the interest of the SUPs. We don't have a set mandate saying that we have to ensure that the SUPs at the end of the training need to find jobs. How we have derived is now we have 3 forms of training. One is technical, one is life skill, and the third is core skills. So depending on their interest, they can choose in whatever interest they want. Our mandate is to roll out as many programs as possible. Previously, we had some little setback in order to find instructors and also places to train. But however, we are trying to overcome that by finding new places and also reaching out to more trainers, so they can get the DSUPs get more opportunity to get trained in so many other training sessions.
And there are also talks of providing more support after they have finished a training.
Yes, I think that is something which we have recently started. It's called the New Business Creation, and we have already finished about 5 batches, whereby all the DSUPs which my colleagues have mentioned, who have gone through this rigorous training of foundation, intermediate, advanced, they get a chance to immerse themselves into this new business creation training, which is being held at FITI, RIM, and GIDU School of Business. So they've been trained in business, how to propose, work out the numbers, crunch numbers, and also we have had discussions with BDBL to access concessional grants, which we are working on.
I think it's really important because there are some kind of trainings where you know that the job market can absorb them. You know, institutions can employ our kids. But then there are some kind of programs that we have does not have a specific place where we could actually, send them to apply for a job. Now, if you look at the Arts and Crafts program, for example, which is, I think, one of our strengths of our DSP program, where we're going beyond the traditional arts and crafts of Bhutan, but really looking and seeing what other examples we can, bring to the country and get our children excited about. So we have some very strong programs that have done very well. Some that you might be familiar with. One is the ceramics program. The other is the Forge. And we have tried to experiment and invite expert trainers to come and share their skills, whether it's in metal smithing, whether it's in soft toy making. We've done everything from crocheting and weaving and
stone carving.
We've had a lot of success in all of these programs. But here, once they graduate our program and if they want to, branch out, start a business on their own, they really need that support. And that is why now from our post-skilling section of our DSP
Yes.
program will be really important for them to help support them as they branch out. But there's a lot of opportunity here, and we see that the youth get very excited by these prospects because not all of them aspire to work in an office or to work in a specific field. Having said that, we've also seen great examples where our kids, after they have undergone our training programs and specialized in any of the programs that we have, as my colleague also mentioned, talking about, for example, the institutional support that we've received, we have seen our youth really thrive. So because they had that opportunity to specialize for more than a year and a half, they were immediately able to, start working and contributing and taking the initiative, and they're making great progress. We have several here, as my colleague mentioned, in BBS, but we're also seeing them employed in other corporations as well, and even working in the private sector. They're working freelance. We've had some of our media professionals, have the opportunity to work with the Druk Thukse, internationally acclaimed director Pao Chuning Dorji on his last film with The Monk and the Gun also. And we've also seen that the kind of opportunities as well as the respect that everyone has for the DSP allows us to make sure that our trainees get the necessary work experience, that attachment, in order to also further further build their capacity.
For the job market.
And just for the ceramics program, we want to highlight here is that the DSP has signed a contract with the Drucker. So in their in-flight, the DSP products are available there. We're the only local products that is available on their in-flight service, and it's a contract agreement that we've had for the past few years. It's doing very well. The tourists love it. The Bhutanese love it also, that they can pick up these exclusive DSP handmade ceramic items and give it to their loved ones abroad. So we are also ensuring that we innovate, we try to think out of the box, we try to create opportunities where there are none, to give our youth, all of those who are engaged with our DSP programs, a good start in the field that they are passionate about.
As DSP is evolving, they are also having a close look at GMC. So there would be a lot of opportunities which will come to the way of the SUPs. So certain skilling programs are being started just looking at the GMC, that the requirement will be there. So DSP, as it is, they have their own targets. They are looking at the opportunities, and they are finding trainers to train the DSUPs there.
So as Colonel Sisir has the opportunity to travel the whole country, he's always telling us stories of the DSUPs he's met. Mullah.
Yes. I frequently visit one DSUP called Leto. He lives near Jimilin. He did this hydroponic course, and he has been doing extremely well, and he is highly supported by the agriculture ministry, and he is an entrepreneur by himself. So his farm has been an example where visitors, they go and visit. So I have met him when I go to Gyeongju. We also have DSUPs in different private sectors who I go and meet whenever I travel. So they also they are very grateful to His Majesty and the Desung Skilling Program itself for transforming their lives.
And speaking of opportunities, we may have listeners from far and wide who would want to come in as a trainer. What makes a good fit for an individual to consider coming into Bhutan and being part of the DSP program?
Should I go first?
Please.
Yes. Since the inception and through my experience, we found that the instructors who came in, first they were quite skeptical, but once they've arrived in Bhutan, once they have seen what Bhutan has to offer and what DSP is all about, and how it started, and above all, like meeting the kids, Mullah, and also to see the essence of DSP, see the passion. I think they just fit right into Shonila. They always, in the beginning, get a little hard time because it's a little different, culturally different, and they have left their families and everyone's behind. They have come here, but within 1-2 months, they just blend in, they gel in. They fit in very well, and all the experts which we have welcomed so far, we had worked very well, and some of them has been long life friends. They have completed the training, they went back, they spent some time with their family, and they reached back to us, and they have visited us again, and some of them are still here with us, even after 3 long years. So for us, I think the perfect fit would be someone who is has the will to, firstly, I think love for Bhutan. Secondly, it's to able to work with kids, and third is to willing to share their knowledge and to experience what Bhutan and DSP has to offer.
He has summed it up beautifully, but just sharing my own personal experience in terms of what would make a trainer who had visited us in the past want to come again. I think one of the top things that we keep hearing from them is that they say that Bhutan is unlike any other country they've visited, which is true. I think we are unique in that sense, and I think we can say it very proudly also. I think that many of them are always very humbled and touched by His Majesty's concern for the youth and his vision for skilling the youth. I think that everyone accepts globally that skilling is the way forward in the 21st century. We have to have a skilled workforce in order to be able to meet the changing times. And I personally feel that somebody who wants to come to Bhutan has to be adventurous, obviously. They should be looking to make an impact, and they will see that impact straight away. And I think that is what some of our trainers tell us also, trainers who have now become our friends, tells us is that they love it that Bhutan is so small, that they can immediately see the difference that they're making in the lives of these young people. And of course, a pristine environment, the opportunity to also be able to explore the country, not as a tourist, but rather have the opportunity to engage with people and see the sights, makes it a very special experience.
And the Desups themselves are also often quite touched by having had the opportunity to meet somebody that can really teach them something that they previously didn't know was possible. Is that the feedback that you get from the Desups?
Desups, they get exposed to variety of skills which they would not have thought of, and they see the distance possibility possible, and these trainers make it happen for them. And trainers like Honorable Kezong said, they have been our lifelong friends. They also have been referring other trainers to us, and those people who are willing to serve, help the young youths are all welcome here.
I think that there's just one more thing, that our youth do cite when they've had a great trainer for a particular program. They say that the trainer's passion is very infectious, and that they'd never met somebody who could be so passionate either about ceramics or forge or about any other skill, because I think they've maybe not been exposed to that while they were growing up. And so some of these trainers become also great role models, and also they bring great work ethics, which I think is really important also, to show that people in different parts of the world, how they value professionalism. And This complements, I think, the four watermarks of the DSP program that we are trying to inculcate also. And that is, of course, we want our trainees to walk away with that, lifelong learning, that passion.
Yes,
Mullah.
yes.
We want them to pay attention to detail. It's critical. In order to be great at anything, you have to pay attention to detail. We want them, obviously, to learn to manage their time. And most of all, we want our young people to have a sense of integrity. And this is, I think, constantly reminded to them. And we feel very proud when we see so many of our trainees walking away from the program changed. And I don't think I'm exaggerating.
No.
I think
Spot
that
on.
we are seeing a lot of youth whose lives have changed because of the DSP programs. And that is why we're not like any other training program.
So this conversation has been very valuable and insightful. Thank you so much for spending time with us here today in the studio, and I hope you have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Ngache pelden jubi desu, ngache pelden jubi desu, chachi jubi.